This is an official system authority broadcast. A civil defense emergency remains in effect for the entire galactic region. All unattached combat-capable vessels should proceed to the nearest human settlement for assignment with auxiliary defense forces. All active militia units and other combat effectives should proceed to Case Orange. Message repeats.
'07 Commanders, Nuggets, and Empty Triangles. Manus Dextra here, and hang on a second while I check my bonds. Okay, what's that? How did I get all those bonds? Well, that's a good question. So, if you've been away from the game, you might not know that with Update 14, the bio-waste has well and truly impacted the air handler, and the bubble of human galactic civilization has been invaded by the inscrutable alien menace known only as the Thargoids. And they have been breaking our stuff in a most uncool manner. But never fear, at the time of recording, the forces of humanity have already officially liberated HIP 23716. And to all the commanders who helped me do that, hoorah! 1-star system down, a few hundred to go. For the rest of you, today we're going to talk about the best way you can get started in AX combat so you can do your part too. And along the way, I'll show you 3 examples of builds to try depending on your current progress in the game, as well as your tolerance for grinding. The good news is, if you have a decent PvE combat ship already, getting into AX combat can be as easy as strapping on a set of AX multi-cannons and pretending to be an actual AX combat ship. No judgment here. This is a mostly engineered vulture that I started building for bounty hunting. Check the description for a link to the build, and while you're there, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Elite Dangerous content. It only takes one finger muscle to do all that clicking and clacking if you type like I do, but it takes 2 big fat muscles to just sit there and do nothing, so I'll let you do the math on that one. Alright, let's briefly take a look at the Vulture in-game. As you can see, all I've done is replace the weapons with the new and improved Class 3 turreted AX multi-cannons available at all rescue ships. Just doing this is enough to make the ship a very capable Thargoid scout hunter. Utility slots are pretty standard. I did replace the chaff launcher with point defense because of the Thargoid's caustic missiles, but that's all. Core internals are all standard engineering for PvE combat, and I haven't even gotten around to engineering the hull at all yet. Optionals are the same, just your standard PvE engineering with most modules not finished. Also, note my power priority settings. Even with engineering, the Vulture is prone to running short on power. Now, let's take it out to play. As you can see, the Vulture does just fine against scouts. The problem with this and most other conventional builds is heat, and this only becomes a problem when the interceptors come in and start launching their little drones all over the place. Thargoids are attracted to heat, and without the ability to run cold via silent running, heat sinking, or a combination of the two, those Thargoid drones will stick to you like white on rice and chew through your hull in short order. However, if you have these engineers unlocked, and you don't mind spending a few hours collecting materials for Guardian weapons, we can do so much better. If you need more in-depth guidance on unlocking these or any other combat-related engineers, check out the other videos in this playlist. For these advanced AX builds, we'll go for cold-running shieldless hull tanks. So let's take a look at a personal favorite, the AX Diamondback Explorer, and I'll explain why I built it the way I did. We'll look at core and optional internals first, since this will involve the same engineering upgrades for all ships built in this style. So let's start with the Dweller. You can see his unlock requirements on screen now, and we just need his standard power distributor upgrade, that being charge enhanced with the Super Conduit's experimental effect. As a bonus, you can also get the Dweller to engineer long-range thermal vent beam lasers to grade 3 if you don't have Brew Tarkin unlocked yet. This can be useful for certain cold-running builds. For armor and hull engineering, Selene Jean is nearly the only game in town, and unlocking her will take some time no matter how you go about it. Liz Ryder offers level 1 upgrades, but you're probably better off just working on unlocking Selene Jean. That means going mining, since you'll need to mine 500 tons of ore and give Selene Jean 10 tons of painite before she'll work for you. I suggest Haz-Res mining in something like my Screaming Miner Hawk build, linked in the description. It's basically a bounty hunting Krait Mk2 armed with 3 large multi-cannons and 2 medium mining lasers, but outfitted with all the necessary internal modules needed for mining. Let me know in the comments if you want to see an in-depth video on how to use this ship. Haz-Res mining can be a lot of fun, as well as a good source of revenue, and it's definitely the most fun way to unlock this engineer. And once she's unlocked, we'll want her heavy-duty engineering with deep plating experimental effect on all our armor and hull reinforcements. For thrusters, Professor Palin's patented Grade 5 dirty drag drives remain the gold standard, but again, if you don't already have them unlocked, they will take several hours to obtain. In the meantime, Felicity Farseer offers thruster upgrades to Grade 3, so you should probably go ahead and get those from her while you're engineering your FSD and whatnot. Once you have your thruster, hull, and power distributor engineering sorted, all that's left is the Guardian material grind. For this, I recommend visiting the site located here. I'll pause a moment for your screen capping pleasure. Currently, the best AX weapons in the game are the ones offered exclusively by Azimuth Biotech, specifically their modified Guardian Plasma Charger and their modified Guardian Shard Cannon. I recommend getting a set of 4 Class 2s for both weapon types. Don't be intimidated by the fact that these are fixed. One of the things that makes them so good is that they're almost hit scan fast, so they're not too hard to use once you get the hang of it. So I just want to say to the folks that work on the combat side of the game, these weapons are a great addition to AX combat. Spectacular work as usual. Unfortunately, these new weapons are hidden behind what remains one of the most tedious material grinds in the game. And you will need to do 8, yes, count them, 8 laps around these ruins, logging out and back in after each one to obtain the 8 required blueprints, 1 for each weapon if you plan to craft 2 full sets. On the bright side, you should have plenty of materials gathered by then. Remember, each destructible panel on the map I showed you holds materials to collect for crafting, so you should be gathering these as well as the drops from defeated sentinels as you go around the site. To activate the Ancient Data Terminal and get your blueprint, you'll need to start by powering up the pillars on either side of the terminal. Just shoot the opening in the middle of the pillar with the SRV turret. After this, the other 4 pillars marked in blue can be powered up in any order.
Deploying.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Once all 6 pillars are activated, eject a Guardian Relic on the X in front of the data terminal. Target the sphere that emerges and scan it with your data link scanner to obtain a Guardian Weapon Blueprint fragment. Now, just log out and back in and do the same thing over and over until your soul dies or you have enough blueprints and materials for the weapons you want to craft. So I do strongly recommend at least crafting a set of 4 medium modified plasma accelerators, since these can be used effectively by a wide variety of ships and against both scouts and interceptors. The modified shard cannons tend to get really hot, and they just don't work well on most small ships. If you plan to fight in medium or large ships, then you should probably go ahead and get the shard cannons as well, since bigger ships will handle their heat load well enough to take advantage of the extra firepower. Whatever you decide to get, just double check your mats before you leave, and remember the costs I'm showing you are for materials per weapon crafted. So now that you've gotten the material grind done, all you need to do is go see the Azimuth Biotech tech broker and get strapped up, right? Wrong. You see, there's one final technicality. The Azimuth Biotech tech broker is inconveniently located in the permit-locked Mbooni system. So what you'll need to do is look for the Azimuth Biotech megaship Glorious Prospect. At the time of recording, it's in LHS 1163. If you're watching this in the future and it's not there, just search for megaships on either Elite Dangerous Database or Inara for its current location. See the description for links. And while you're there, drop me a good stock tip, since you're from the future. Once you find Glorious Prospect, you'll just need to run missions for Azimuth Biotech until you achieve Allied status. Once that happens, you should see a mission offering a permit for the Mbooni system. Just accept the mission, and those sweet, sweet Thargoid thumpers will be one step closer.
Touchdown confirmed. Command system shut down. Welcome to the port, Commander.
In the Mbooni system, you'll find the tech broker on Mbooni 3A, a planetary outpost called Prospects Deep. Once there, you can trade with the tech broker for a variety of technologies, including the modified Guardian shard cannons and plasma accelerators we want. And now that we have our weapons, let's go back to our builds. For the DBX, I recommend arming it with 3 Class 2 modified Guardian plasma accelerators. This is one of the main reasons I use this ship over so many other smalls. It can mount 3 of the most powerful AX weapons available. In addition, it runs very cool, and it has lots of optional slots for hull and module reinforcements, making it a very hard-hitting, tough little ship. The only drawback it has at all is that it's a bit on the slow side, with boost speeds under 500 meters a second. In short, this is a great ship for one-shotting scouts and acting as fire support for taking down interceptors in a group. And I'm sure better AX pilots than me could solo interceptors with this too. We'll round out the build with a shutdown field neutralizer, great if you can remember to use it, and 3 pre-engineered heatsink launchers from the Sirius Technology Broker. You can locate these guys via Inara's Search Nearest function. Another plus for this build is its rebuy of less than 1 million credits. That makes it great for learning, and it won't cost much when you make mistakes. And you will. When you're ready to start leading the assaults on interceptors, it's time to step up to the Krait Mk2. It has the same engineering as the DBX, heavy-duty deep-plating hull and armor upgrades, dirty drag drives, and a charge-enhanced power distributor. You can check the link in the description to go over that stuff in detail. But right now, we're going to look at hardpoints. We're using 4 Class 2 fixed Guardian Shard cannons because they won't let us mount more, and they don't make anything bigger. But that's okay, because these will get the job done. In the leftover Class 3 hardpoint, we'll add a turreted beam laser engineered for long range with the thermal vent experimental effect. This is mostly there for extra cooling, which is important when using shard cannons and anytime you're operating close to an interceptor. I'm still learning how to use this build to full effect. Luckily, there's usually a lot of competent help in open, and that's how I would recommend playing this war content, in open. Since AX weapons are not effective against human ships, there's not much chance of gankers in Thargoid systems because gankers with human weapons would be defenseless against the buggers. Anyway, I'm having lots of fun blasting Thargoids in Update 14, and if you try one of my builds, I bet you will too. Interceptor hunting is the new low-temperature diamond mining, except fun. So until next time...
You will now be released from manual control. Mr. Dextra thanks you for your cooperation. You will now be released from manual control. Mr. Dextra thanks you for your cooperation. You will now be released from manual control. Mr. Dextra thanks you for your cooperation.